At the C-130 again, taking off from... I meant to post that video of the two C-130s when I was at the beach. One of them full of special forces people, apparently. So they say. There are only two in service. One's a comms machine and the other flies special forces on standby. I guess all kitted out, sitting in the back, just looping around the coast, waiting for a call. Amazing. Email Larry. Maybe I'll get a sensible reply. Email Peter Sewell. Email all these people and they're like, oh, this isn't happening. That's what they would put in their subject header. But, oh, how are you? Where are you? What have you been up to? I've been selling books, Peter. I've been selling books like fucking heifers. And I asked my daughter about my books. I mean, they're not my property anymore because there's a law that says if you leave your shit too long, it's owned by someone. So Ursula or Peter Sewell or my ex-wife, somebody owns all my library. I tried to get you guys to sell it to get me some money so that I could carry on working. That was in. That was in 2013, after I left the mining people, because I had a plank of wood dropped on my head and just the future just didn't look so great. So I jumped on a truck and got a lift to Ruri, and that was 2013, around March or April, and I was in Burunabaki, starving, no food, no money, selling everything I could to get a little bit more money to do a little bit more work. And then I wrote that airplane mode thing on economics 2, and fled into the forest. I left my stuff and all the bits and pieces I had left at Rosa Maria Ruiz, thinking somebody would look after them. My birth certificate from Rhodesia and my MA certificate from Cambridge and all the shit in between in a box, and it all got flooded that year, the next rainy season in December. 12 months later, no, April, so May, June, 5-6 months later, it was all destroyed, according to Rosa Maria. Well, she did say that she actually still had it, but it was in a box and had been under flood water for some days, and it sounded like it was all caked together. And I was living on the street, and my daughter had just decided that the money they sent me would be enough. My father assured me that my daughter though only 16, was perfectly capable of making that judgment. And that's what she did. So there was nothing that I could have done with them. I was living at that point, I think I had shoes, but not much else. I was living in an abandoned house where there'd been a landslide a few months before, and it killed some families that lived underneath this cliff, and the dogs in the street were going mad, and I lived in one of these houses nearby. I slept there. Sandro Hemmond didn't live too far away. And after I'd been in the village for a few weeks, I met Sandro, and I gave him my memory stick with some of the stuff I'd written. I said, try and get it out. And I didn't know where to, but I just gave it to him. And I don't really know what he did with it. But when he gave it back to me, when I got back to Ruri, and 6 months later, 7-8 months later, he gave it to me he gave it to me and said, is there a note there from my wife? And I didn't see anything, so I have no idea what they were doing with that. And then I got to Karanavi, and I was sleeping in the plaza. Until somebody came and threatened to burn me with petrol, and I got sick at the same time, and I was in contact again, and I tried to get Thomas Forster and can't remember who else. I sent out I retyped Lewis Carroll's Achilles and the Tortoise, which is copyright mined. They're trying to maintain it in perpetuity. Do any of you actually understand it? Do you want to hold on to it? And then I typed out one way to try and understand it. It was about taking those axioms, the common notions, not the common notions, the elements, the stoica, the 5 things each equal to another, or each equal to the other, and things greater, things smaller, things coincident, and the whole is greater than the part. And using those as logical connectives to assemble in a kind of functorial way, to assemble arguments. I always had in my head this and then plug them together with references and have them automatically renaming the variables so that the points all get distinct numbers, and then you can take any theorem and you can do the whole construction all the way down to the theorem 1, book 1, and then you can move all the bits around and see how the other bits connect. Oh, that would be so much fun. I'm sure the Freemasons have got this somewhere locked away in a lodge, running on an array of super cooled 6502Bs.